The day started was a normal day, and I was working that time as a protocol for the Angolan embassy. And then I had this friend told me about this night. They say, something is coming up. A friend of his invited him to this house party.
While I was at that party, I was never a person who will go out look for attention. I just focus on what I'm doing, like be around my friends and having my glass of wine, enjoying my evening. And then here comes this gentleman and he wants to know me and he wants to talk to me.
I went to her and say, hi. Hey, hi. Say, what's your name? Shirley. And she's looking at me with these disgusting eyes like, who is this rubbish talking to me? It was so funny. But I don't know, I just felt a strong connection to her then, right then.
I was like, every time I would tell my friends, what is this guy? Because somehow my friend also knew him and she invited him as well to the party. And I was like, it looks like you've just set up this thing for me to come and meet this guy and I don't even know this guy. And since then, he could not leave me.
The next day, I called a friend. I said, did you get the number? No, not yet. I said, I'll get the number. Keep pestering until I got the number. I call her, but she won't talk to me. The moment I say, I used to be called then by Beto, is my kind of nickname. She turns the phone.
Since then, he could not leave me. He was day and night pestering my friend. He wants my number. He wants to know where I live. He wants to know everything about me.
I persuaded a friend to take me to her house. And so I went to her house. She wasn't there. I sat there and I waited until she came. And then I said, what you want with me? I said, I just felt like, you were meant for me,
I was so angry with my friend, very angry, because I didn't like what she did. She should have at least asked permission before she bring him home.
She keeps, pushing me away. So I left. And I spoke to her sister. I say, when is your mother home? Because her mother, that time she was a doctor working for hospital. And she always worked night shift. During the day she's sleeping. And so I said, the best time to come is when my mother is in the afternoon. So I decided to confront her in front of the mother. And I just said, the mother, I like your daughter.
He introduced himself to my mom. He was so open. He didn't care about where he is, who he's talking to. He just focused on what he wants.
So things really picked up from there. I started speaking more with the mother. I can say I became the friend of the family before I was embraced by my wife.
My mom encouraged me, saying, it's a good man, but no.
It took some time, some persuasion from the mother, but she wouldn't listen to the mother. And so I was a deep Christian, I can say, even though growing up. And so we had this retreat where we go every year, just during the Lenten season.
This retreat normally takes place outside our town, outside the city. It's in a rural areas, and that's where every Catholic comes to meet, and that's where they pray, and that's where they do the Station of the Cross.
And so I went for that retreat, and when I went, I met a grandmother. A grandmother was surprised to see me. I said, you're a young man, what are you doing here? I said, no, I'm a Christian. So that's it. We struck up a conversation. And so when we got back, she's the one who did all the job for me.
My grandma is everything to me. So she's brought me up. I didn't grow much with my mom. I grew up with my grandma. So when my grandma told me, this is a Christian man, that's a good man.
And so things progressed. After 6 months, 6 or 7, she gave in, She was kind of probably double checking or making sure. My problem was always from early on, even from 15. I already wanted to marry because I already wanted to form a family from earlier on. So in that regard, I pray for God to give me a faithful wife. A wife who's gonna love me for who I am, and a wife who's gonna be there, a good mother for my children.
I love my husband, everything about my husband. He listens a lot to what I have to say, how I will want him to conduct himself. And most of it, it's just coming really naturally from him.
She's always trying her best to provide things for us and look after us, and she always does our best for us. She provides everything for us, and she always wants the best out of us, and she always puts us before herself. She's basically my inspiration. I also really would like to be like her in the future.
She's authentic, you know. It's very rare to find people who are so brutally honest with themselves, you know, and honest with you as well. There's no falseness in her, you know, and that's something that I love about her, that, you know, you can trust yourself to her.
He is a very loving and caring man I've ever known. So I'll say to God today, my prayers has been answered, honestly, for the men he's blessed me with. Loving, caring, very obedient. He respects himself. He loves himself, and he portrays that same love and same respect he's got about himself unto his family.
She's selfless. She's hardworking and caring mother. You know, the house, you know, she doesn't allow me to do much in the house. She's full of integrity. And that's what I admire, you know. You know, she's full of, she won't compromise anything for anything.
He is the head of our family, so he has to set the good example for the boys which are growing next to him. So in that way, he is really, that should say, the boys are lucky to have a dad like their father, because he is shaping them in the way that he wants them to be. He has blessed them and give them Christ so that they can grow up and tomorrow model their own families. And each and every day, he talks a lot to the boys about how he will want them to raise their families. And I think the boys are seeing what their dad does.
She hugs me every day when I come back from school and says, "How was your day, Roz? Did you have a nice day today?" And then the same as my dad, he does the same. I sometimes don't listen to him, but then he forgives me all the time, just like God and Jesus does.
Yeah, my parents are very complex characters and very interesting as well, which is like amazing to see, because you know, when in families it's like a lot, you know, we have the same blood, but like a lot of people have like different characteristics and personalities, and which is really amazing to see. And my parents are one of them as well, and I'm really grateful to have parents such as them, and because they've really taught me a lot. Taught me like you can't be without God, because God is the only thing that you need to go the right way.
Both of my parents are helpful. They're, you know, good, and I guess like I kind of want to learn from them as well, because they've been brought up in like love, and I'm also being brought up in love, so I kind of want to take that on.
Church has played a pivotal role in our growing up as a couple and as a family, because every time we face difficulties, this is where we settle it. This is where we settle our differences, you know. Every Sunday we come here. In some mysterious way, God molds our hearts in a way that when we get back, we live to fight another day. And we start seeing our problem into the perspective of God and church. And we are blessed that we live, this community is very supporting, you know. They open their doors to us, you know. We've got a blessed priest, we always talk to him, he's always gives us a good advice. So we didn't see it at the time, but as we look back, some seed has been grown in us, has been planted, and now it's reaping its reward.
Their faith is very, very big. They are, especially Wilson and Shirley, are very, very devout in their faith. And I've taken that from them, really.
The struggles and difficulties and the problems they had to carry in their initial years here was really hard, and the cross was really heavy. But irrespective of all that, they embraced Jesus and his cross. They kept their faith close to their heart, and in the midst of all the difficulties and problems, they never compromised their Christian values.
When I miss church, I kind of feel sick or guilt because it's like I didn't want to get my grace in order to enable me to live a good life. I need that grace, I need that, especially the Eucharist, in order for me to be able to make a good decision, in order to be able to love my wife more, to be a good father, to be a good husband. So I think without this rock, really, I don't think we'll be here. And so this is, I call it, let's go to heaven on Sunday, you know, because without the heaven, we can't live.
And I think what I can see with Wilson, Shirley, and the family is that their faith is at the center of their lives. It's as if everything comes from that. It's very clear to see.
I don't think without that grace, I'll be able to form a family, because to form a family, especially a big family, you need to be selfless. You need to put your family first before yourself. As I say, I sacrificed my profession. I don't regret it, because I see what is the joy in life. The joy in life is, even that profession is to come and share it with your family. If you don't have a family, really, with whom are you going to share it with? So in that regard, you know, I think the mistake in our society is to try to build a family without God. It's not going to work.
If you have a healthy family home, you've got a healthy society out there. So we want to portray it always in our children, and even within, whether it's me or my husband, we want to portray it and conduct ourselves with reverence that whatever we do here, it's always for the service of the Lord. All the glory goes to God. Now, as a family, if we've got an unhealthy family lifestyle or setting, they will go out there and in school continue to portray that unhealthy lifestyle they are experiencing in home. Because the same way a discipline comes from home, the same way a good upbringing or Christian lifestyle from a child or from an individual, a parent or a husband, it's a good way we can also pass on the message to the ones which are close to us, the ones we communicate each and every day with. And not only to say that, this is the best thing we have given our children. So I would rather give them Christ than give them anything else. Because I know, having God in their lives, they will walk out there and be the mighty woman and men they are.
Every Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, we always pray the rosaries in the morning. And we have to wake up 6 a.m. to pray the rosaries. And he, again, on the conditions, if we don't do it, then we have technology taken off us. So yeah, he's always saying that we should pray. Like, we shouldn't just pray for, like, you know, based on our future, but also praying to, like, thank God for the day, or like thank God for, like, your life and whatever. And
when I come to church, I feel happy because I feel like I should, like, be giving praise to, like, giving thanks to God for, like, all the good blessings he's given me in life. So when I come to church, I feel happy.
The faith that my parents have is really strong. The impact that they had on us as children is really good as well, because I don't think without our parents we would have known church if they were not the type of parents to, like, sort of say, church is not what we need. Then I think we as kids, we would not have God for us as well. So I'm really grateful that we have parents like them to teach us what Jesus went through to save us from our sins, and yeah, that's my vision of understanding what Jesus is to me, because Jesus is the savior of my sins and everyone's sins.
God's like the father in our, like, home. So sometimes, like, when my own, like, dad annoys me, I can just, like, pray to him, like, my God myself. So he's kind of like the spiritual being in our family. You know, like, he's someone that we can pray to if I have any difficulties. And it's just nice knowing that there's, like, someone else there apart from the people on, like, earth where you have, like, to pray for.
Ricardo, firstborn, very, very, very strong boy.
Quiet, he doesn't talk much, and he's hardworking.
Very dignified and hardworking. I am training him really well. He can do anything around the house, washing, ironing, whether cooking, anything.
She's 29th of October. She ran the little angel, the first girl.
She's the shape of me somehow. It's just I'm more talking person, whereas she also very organized, respecting herself. She's got very self-respect, loving herself.
Caring, she's, I see her mom in her, and yeah, she's selfless, always puts other people first, even though she wants something for herself, but she won't say it. She'll rather give priority to others. Betisha, she's the third. And Betisha, from the moment she was born, she's special. There's something about her that I can't put my finger onto it.
I call her my Bobo. She's so precious.
She's meticulous on everything she does. When you ask her to do something,
she does things differently. Even if you talk to her, you will maybe think she don't hear you, or even if she hears you, she don't pay attention really to what you say. So she's always a wonder around. Beshnia is more chatty like me. All the kids are like that, quiet, well-reserved, whereas Nia has pulled a little bit to mom.
She's a reporter, She likes drama, bit of acting, and like challenging sometimes that. She's also a little stubborn, can be stubborn like me, Every time I talk to her, she say, I'm just following in your footsteps, Daddy.
So Nia is chatty, and again, she likes arguments with her sisters. Oh yeah, she is the loudest, the youngest, and the loudest. Again, she's so special because she makes it happen. And I will say she's our little cheerleader. She likes the singing, the dramas, and all these things. Slow, my youngest baby boy.
He's a technology guy. I call him my techie guy, He's a very smart guy, He has won a lot of awards in school. He's been selected to be one of the tech guru in school, He's a bit shy, but at the same time confident, He needs to know you before he opens up.
Weslow will come hug me every time after school, kiss me. How are you, mommy? So caring, so loving. It's just what you will want as a mother to feel from your son.
I feel blessed in a way, like I am fulfilling my mission on this earth, because at some point growing up, I had something about family. I wanted to start a family earlier on in my life. And when I look back now on those years, I always ask God to show me my vocation. But now, slowly, my mind is opening up that my vocation is to bring up a family. At some point, being a young man, you kind of saw it as a burden. You saw it as a burden, but you saw it as a blessing at the same time. But now I see it more as a blessing, because there's nothing I would rather give or I would rather share my time with than my family. Of course, I had to, raising up a big family is not easy. I had to sacrifice some part of my life, which is the profession, but which I look back as a blessing, I'm happy, I see it as a blessing, really, And I feel like I'm following on that commandment that God gave to Adam, that, multiply and fill the earth, And I take it, Lord, with pride, really.
We are the Cagi family and we are joyfully big. Oh yes, we are joyfully blessed and joyfully big. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. And together we will unity and one day may restore. And we'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love. We will walk with each other, we will walk side by side. We will walk with each other, we will walk side by side. And together with unity we'll build this in our hearts. And we'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love. But we'll know we are Christians by our love.
We are the Cagi family and we are joyfully big.
Shalom World TV coming to Europe and coming to England. That's fantastic, so that we can get the message of the good news out to people. I think many people of all ages, particularly young people, are searching. They're looking to hear a message in their language in a way that they can understand. And good Catholic media can serve that wonderful purpose of getting that news out there and encouraging and challenging people to find out a little bit more of the story of Jesus, which sadly so many people do not know or have forgotten. So it's great to hear this good news of Shalom World TV coming to the UK. May the Holy Spirit shower His blessings upon your work and your ministry in serving, evangelization and the spreading of the good news of Christ.
Shalom World, God's own channel.